In the earliest texts of Hindu and Buddhist mythology, you'll find spirits born from clouds and water. These ethereal, shape-shifting beings were known as Apsaras. They lived inside the heavenly court of the god Indra. There, they served as divine dancers and entertainers, and were recognized as the wives of the Gandharvas, the celestial musicians of the gods. This 12th century Indian sandstone carving visualizes the myth. According to ancient epics, the gods deployed Apsaras for a specific purpose. Their idealized forms were used to seduce mortal sages, stopping them from accumulating too much divine power through extreme meditation. The Apsara began as a literary device to represent temptation in Indian texts, but her story eventually left the page. This exact figure became a primary architectural feature of an entirely different empire. To trace that evolution, we have to move forward to the 8th century and shift our map to the Khmer Empire in modern-day Cambodia. Khmer architects integrated the Apsara motif at an enormous scale. They manifested a concept of clouds and water permanently into the dense jungle. The Apsara moved from a localized myth into the literal, load-bearing aesthetic of Angkor Wat, the largest religious monument in the world. An inventory of Angkor Wat counts 1,796 female portraits carved into the walls using a strict visual taxonomy. Figures standing perfectly still, acting as guardians, are classified as devatas. True Apsaras are the figures depicted actively dancing in mid-motion. Together, these two types of figures were used in tandem. They generate a precise visual rhythm that guides the eye from the ground-level entryways all the way up to the highest towers. These carvings were never meant to be decorative wallpaper. They form a codified system of architectural storytelling, categorizing the divine feminine into distinct, measurable roles. For centuries, these carvings were viewed as pure mythology. That perspective changed in 1927, when researcher Sappho Marshall published a study of the ruins. Marshall discovered that these figures were not born from pure imagination. Instead, she found they represented a meticulously accurate 12th century fashion catalog. This close-up shows the level of detail in the stone. You can see varied headdresses on these 5 figures, proving they reflect actual royal practices. The artists also captured precise hand placements, lotus blossoms, and communal greetings among the women. Ultimately, Angkor Wat functions as a petrified time capsule. It preserves the exact stylistic reality and the refined elegance of the Khmer women of antiquity. While the Khmer Empire fell, the blueprint of the Apsara waited in the jungle for centuries, remaining a silent part of the ruins until the 20th century. That silence ended with a massive cultural movement led by the Royal Ballet of Cambodia. Queen Sisawath Kossamak was the primary patron for this movement. Under her guidance, the Royal Ballet created the performance art known as the Apsara dance. The Royal Ballet treated the ancient temple bas-reliefs as literal, frame-by-frame instruction manuals for their choreography. This approach used the temple's history to help rebuild and unify a modern Cambodian national identity. The dancers underwent a painstaking process to recreate the ancient costumes. They wear the same tight-fitting dresses and multi-tiered headdresses seen on the temple walls. They wear the same gilded jewelry seen in the carvings. And to match the stone figures, dancers must master incredibly demanding, hyper-flexible hand gestures. These codified, sinuous movements are now used to narrate the same classical myths that first appeared thousands of years ago. By moving from ancient texts and stone ruins into the physical world, the Apsara has become a central part of Cambodia's identity, a history kept in perpetual, elegant motion by the women of today.